As time went on, there started to be some voices out there saying that that we had a problem, that something needed to be done about it. I remember Marion Dawson was one, Wint Dahlstrom and Bob Wesley were people that started sounding the alarm. And at first, they were kind of voices in the wilderness. And it was very ugly in the beginning because, of course, people were concerned about their jobs. I can remember Wint dragging me into his office and opening up a mason jar of effluent that he took out of the pipe going into the lake from the tannery. And it was pretty rotten stuff. And as more people started crying in the wilderness, if you will, Marion Dawson was one of the first people, Bob Wesley, and they formed an organization. It is White Lake Improvement Association or something to that effect. And they started meeting. They started raising enough of a voice that there were some public meetings, and some of them were ugly. There was a gentleman who worked at Hooker, who Warren Dobson was his name, now deceased. Warren provided information, met with Wint, and the state finally, because of pressure, took action. Darwin Bennett was the local newspaper editor, and he started writing articles about this. And he got threats, and he got harassed, and people would go into stores and tell him that they weren't going to buy there if they put ads in his paper. And there's one classic paper he put out with nothing on the front page, except something to the effect that this is where the news would be if we were going to publish the news. And it was, it got to be pretty desperate times, pretty rough. Ken and Mary Mahoney were very involved at the beginning. They met with people at Hooker. They lived close to the area, and they've been very involved throughout the entire operation with this cleanup process. I think you start out with something like this, and you need the, if you will, the rabble-rousers and the hellraisers, whatever. You need the Wint Dahlstroms and the Bob Wesleys and people like that. And then it becomes if you will, a thing of drudgery or paperwork and technical things. And that's where people like Tanya and Jeff come in. I stood at Genesco one time with an officer of the state, and he told me that he could show me places in the state that are far worse than White Lake, but nothing was being done simply because there were no squeaky wheels.